Okay, today our learning target is I can write and evaluate inequalities. Now, this is the first time that we have really worked with inequalities in our algebra unit, but you have done some work comparing numbers, so I will try to help you make that connection today. A couple of vocabulary terms we need today are, first of all, what is an inequality? An inequality, I'm trying to get my pen to work here. It is not wanting to work. Here we go. An inequality is a mathematical statement that two expressions are not equal. So we have used this word right here before, equality, which means equal. And this means not, so not equal. Okay. And we're going to use these in fifth grade. We're just going to use greater than, less than, or equal to. We're not going to use these ones at the bottom. So you don't need to worry about those. So we're just going to use these ones. And also sometimes we will find when we are working with inequalities that the two sides of our mathematical statement are in fact equal. So even though that wouldn't represent an inequality, we're still going to be using that symbol. So greater than, less than, or maybe even equal to, which you've gotten used to using these this year. And then we're going to work with equations today, a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. And we're going to work to solve, sometimes knowing our value of our variable. We're going to talk about this too in class today, the difference between expressions and equations. But we're going to jump into inequalities first. The first thing that we're going to do together in class today is review using comparison symbols. So if you remember this from the beginning of the year, and we've used this even for fractions, your alligator is really hungry. Sometimes it even helps to draw teeth in there to remember it's going to eat the bigger number. So when I compare these two numbers, 18 and 12, I know my alligator is going to eat 18. Now, one thing that's going to be new, see how we have an operation symbol here and we have two numbers? You might need to simplify part of this statement before you put in your comparison symbol. So here I would simplify 5 plus 3 is 8. And now I'm comparing this value on this side to this value on this side. And I see that 20 is greater than 8. Okay? Now I'm going to jump into some practice with this. One thing you're going to do today is you are going to do a combination of inequalities and that evaluating we did yesterday. Okay, so here we have two sides of our, we're not going to call it an equal sign, but here is where we're going to put our comparison symbol right here in the middle. Okay, remember alligator eats the bigger number. It is hungry, can go either direction. And before we can solve this, we need to evaluate each side of this. Now 11, we don't have to do much for evaluating, but do you see right here how we have 14 minus our variable? And we're going to use this up here, complete with greater than, less than, or equal to when m, the value of our variable, equals 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this part right here, and wherever you see an m, you're going to replace it with 5. So I'm going to rewrite this as 14 minus 5. I'm going to copy down my space that I'm going to put my either greater than, less than, or equal to sign, and I am also going to copy down that 11. We don't have to do any evaluating there. Now, I am going to still simplify this. 14 minus 5, I know is 9. And now we're comparing 9 and then whole number 11, where 11 is greater than 9. Okay. One more, and now this one is a little bit of a step up in complexity because do you notice how we have something to simplify on this side and something to simplify on this side before we compare? Also, remember our m value is equal to 5. We got that from up here. And we're going to be filling in right here for our comparison symbol, but we need to do some steps to simplify this first. Also, right here, see where our variable and our whole number are right next to each other? That means that they are multiplied together. So when we go to rewrite this, we're going to replace this m with 5. So you're not going to write 35, but instead 3 times 5, that's just this part right here, plus 5, and compare that with 20 minus 7. Okay? Next, we're going to go here. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 5. And then 20 minus 7, I'm just going to kind of solve this as I go because I'm running out of screen time, is 13. And 15 plus 5 is 20. So we are comparing 20 and 13 greater.